Welcome to ISRA League's Grand Touring Championship, brought to you by the Z1 SimWheel LCD display software. You can get this software at z1simwheel.com and add all of these dashboards and telemetry displays to your sim rig. They also have a fine selection of handcrafted wheels, as well as the LCD display hardware, once again at z1simwheel.com. With one race under our belts, we've got Doljan Boldrin in the lead with 25 points, Brian Carey second, Andy Fuller third, Daniel Santos fourth, Arthur Hermont fifth, Victor Beltran sixth, Jeremy Burris seventh, Brent Briles eighth, Lance Snyder ninth, and Tim McLeish 10th. The drop weeks will start to take effect at the end of this race, so the points get interesting. Daniel Verness leads the GT3 standings with Timothy Stolen second, Todd Carver third, Daniel Gralty fourth, Mike Kelly fifth, Mike Young 6th, Kurt Gross 7th, Luke Poulin 8th, Matthew Voigt 9th, and Carl Lundbauer in the 10th spot. Welcome to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and if that's too much of a mouthful for you, like it is for me, you can just call it Montreal. I'm Daniel Quaroni, and with me here we've got Brian Carey. You can actually pronounce this, and Brian Carey's going to go over the map.
Hi, guys. All right. Well, we're going to start looking at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here. Montreal, Ile Notre Dame, if you want to go with it. But anyways, turn 2, the Virage Senna, the Senna corner. There's going to be a lot of passing going into there. It's very tight. And the run from turns 2, 3, 4, all the way to turn 7 will be very, very tight going multi-class passing. So watch out for that. But that being said, the chicanes here are very short, so you're not going to be stuck behind slower traffic for very long. So this is actually shaping up to be a possibly pretty good multi-class track, but we're going to have to see how it plays out.
And we've got Brian Carey on pole with the HPDs. Andy Fuller's right next to him in row 1. Doljan Boldrin, Daniel Benefield on row 2. Anthony Muniz and Ryan Huff on 3. Arthur Hermont and Daniel Quaroni on 4. And John Kelly and Jeremy Burris on 5. And here's Anthony Muniz to go through the GT3s.
GT3, Lauren Bateman, Daniel Gralty, Matthew Voigt, and Marty Jeffries on row 2, Chuck Chambers, John Middleton. Row 3, John Kuzin, Luke Poulin on 4, and Mumbauer and Christopher Mills on row 5. Brian
Unfortunately, it's a really short
it is super short
lap, so we are already racing.
Brian Carey maintains the pole position there and takes it away from Andy Fuller as they made their way through the final chicane.
Good to see Andy's paint scheme for the first time, I think, in these broadcasts since he's been a part of at least the HPDs anyway.
And some of the GT3 cars getting themselves sorted. A lot of big bunch of McLarens there. We've got Carl Mumbauer in the Marlboro McLaren, as well as Daniel Verness there in the Ford GT. Ooh, loses it. Oh, someone actually does lose it going through the first chicane there. Who was that? I missed which car that was, but they went all the way around. Hopefully there were no cars behind to get collected in that spin.
Yeah, the short pace lap really didn't give us any time to talk about the details of this track. You can see the walls are very close on either side, and so it's very easy to get collected in someone else's wreck. If they, for example, go sideways, bounce off the walls, they've just got nowhere to go to get out of the way.
Yeah, this is effectively A Street track. It's on the island of the site of the 1967 World Exposition, so you'll notice the big round ball in the middle there from... you can just see there, I think it's part of I think it's still there, part of a casino now. Oh, big move there by Martin Avon on the inside of, or is that Sandeep? I gotta get used to these names. A couple new guys there. I think it was Martin on the inside of Sandeep, but
yep,
we'll check that again later. And Tim McLeish in the HPD steam whistle car behind the DuPont car of Frank Hogan, the number 93. So that's a interesting new paint scheme there for Mr. Hogan.
So Brian, you were saying about the Gilles Villeneuve's big ball?
Yeah, I know, really big ball. don't get me started on that. But, and actually there you can see part of the complex there, which I believe is part of a casino now. But I think they have whatever the sphere thing, probably just to your right there. We'll see if we can see it from the shots. But it's an island. It's an island in the St. Lawrence River in Montreal. Oh, Verness is off the track. He'll recover there, but he's trying to get... I think Verness started from the pit lane, I believe, or started from last place. I'm not sure which, but he had a problem in qualifying, was not able to...
And right now, he is he's suffering potential black flags. That's why he's going so slow.
Yeah, but you notice he cut across the corner there. What iRacing will do is throw a black flag up until you have to slow down because you've gained an advantage by cutting the course. I mean, we could see it earlier. As you can see, Matthew Voigt up ahead doing the same thing. So he's going to have to slow down, and Marty Jeffrey should be able to just drive right past him if Matthew lets him. I think he will, possibly. I would imagine Matthew Voigt got a corner cutting penalty for that, but...
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Pretty strict. iRacing's pretty strict with the corner cuttings here at Montreal.
Yeah, like I said before, I mean, these are basically, well, I say public roads. They're not really streets as such, because it's just an island where, I mean, there are roads to get you from one parking lot to the next, if you will. You know, half-purpose, regular, you know, streets moving around and parking lots. Much like Albert Park, I guess, in Melbourne, Australia, but like you can see here, walls are much closer in a lot more areas. And Luke Poulin, sorry, he's from Quebec. I'm not sure from Montreal, but Anthony, let's go.
I was just going to point out the battle there. Now we'll switch up to a battle further up the GT field with Chuck Chambliss and Matthew Voigt. Chambliss holding on to the P4 position in GT3 at the moment. Ooh, close call there for Matthew Voigt. Oh, looks like Chambliss had a trouble coming out of the chicane. He's quite slow. Hopefully he managed to avoid any damage on the wall there. But nevertheless, that moves Matthew Voigt up a position despite that. Oh, it looks like he's slow again, so he's serving a black flag for taking too much of the curving and I guess the grass there on the inside of turn 5. So that moves John Middleton up now into 4th position.
And Daniel Vernesse making some moves here, going around the outside of Christopher Mills, so that'll move him up into 9th position, moving quickly here. He's made quite a number of places up. Out on the front straight here, you can really get to see, this is one of those few tracks that you'll see a lot. I mean, those familiar with Formula One will know this track well, and you get to see some of the landmarks that you do in the real circuit here. It's a very unique track as far as F1 is concerned nowadays. You don't find a lot like this. A lot of the Tilke design tracks are, some of them are interesting, but they kind of lack the character that an older track like this does.
Benefield, I think, gave room, but McLeish, so in the race, not interested in sticking his nose in there.
That's Frank Hogan, I believe.
Oh,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, they have
Frank
similar.
Hogan. You are absolutely
they have similar
right.
cars.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh no, Daniel Benefield is up a little further up in the standings right now, running
he's
third
in
place.
So not 15.
And Vernesse now catching up to the back of John Kuzlin, and I believe that's Luke Poulin up in 8th position, or 7th position rather. Vernesse fighting with John Kuzlin for 8th. Oh, they're perfect timing on board the front nose as we head down this fairly long straightaway towards turn 9.
Yeah, curving
or turn
all
9
the way
and 10
too.
rather.
Yeah, 9 10. Curving all the way. So basically, what'll happen is, as a defending car, you kind of place your car along the inside, and you're not weaving. You're driving in a straight line, but because the track is curving, you're able to halt another driver's forward progress, and John Kuzlin not able to halt Daniel Vernesse's forward progress, as he's able to take 8th spot away from Kuzlin.
Yeah, and you could see there that Kuzlin got right up on the back of Poulin, but unfortunately he couldn't use that momentum because Poulin had not taken the chicane quite fast enough, and so he would have had to run through him to keep the speed. That bleed off allowed Vernesse by, and so what was a great striking opportunity turned into a loss.
And quite a big loss. You can see he's fallen quite far back now as he was as he fought with Vernesse. Oh, someone cutting the chicane or into the pit lane? It looks like they're into the pit lane. Okay, so ignore that. But yeah, Kuzlin lost a little bit of time there as Vernesse made his way by going through the turn 11 hairpins. Kind of made it up now as they've went through the final corner. There's Vernesse being aggressive here through turns 2 and 3, trying to work on the outside, tries to get a cut back. Oh, and just holds onto the car, but he's going to lose a position to Kuzlin, who picks up on the mistake from Vernesse and moves himself back up into 8th.
Yeah, and as you can see, the chicanes make it so hard to pass. Mistakes are the best way to get it done. Oh, as Frank Hogan goes all the way around.
Oh, he's trying to do the KK Rosberg there in the hairpin. you're not sure what I'm talking about, see YouTube KK Rosberg in Montreal, and you'll see exactly what I mean. It's a pretty solid piece of car control there, doing a 360, throwing it into gear, and just powering out of the corner. I believe that was like in a 1982 Williams.
And Vernest didn't take him long to get back up into 8th position as he goes back to chase down Poulin for that 7th spot. And here's a fight in the LMP2 class between our colleague Daniel Quaroni and Arthur Hermont. These guys fighting for 7th in class. Oh, and there's a teammate to Hermont, Duljan Boldrin, and he is under some heavy pressure here from Ryan Huff. These guys fighting for 3rd place, or 4th place rather.
You can see Huff just wishing there were actual corners here and not just hairpins and chicanes. He would have been able to do something with that.
That said, he did go wide into the hairpin, able to get a better run coming out of it with carrying more speed. Now he's forced Duljan Boldrin to the outside. This is going to be close, folks. There's going to be room for one car through the chicane, and it's a game of chicken right now.
It looks like it's going to be Huff.
Nice job there. Yep. Later on the brakes, was able to even take the apex for that first part of the chicane and moves himself up into 4th spot. Nice move.
I believe this track was first used. You see Tim McLeish coming up on Brent Briles. Looks like he's slow for whatever reason. Tim McLeish taking the place, but maybe just had a little bit of a spin or something and just lost a little bit of speed. It looks like he's back up the pace right now, but just saying this track was first used for Formula One back in 1978, and that race in Formula One was won by Gilles Villeneuve, the only time a Canadian has won the Formula One race here in Montreal.
And yep, Brent Briles back up to speed now, putting some pressure on Tim McLeish. It's a nice run out of turn 3, but not able to do anything with that as they make their way into the first chicane. I'm guessing he must have been serving a course-cutting penalty. Really only reason for him to be so slow like that, his car seems to be totally undamaged.
I really do like Brent's new livery this year. Oh, actually, no, wait, it was Jerry that just had the last race. So this is the first time we're seeing it on Brent's car.
Yeah.
The 10 seasons of whoop-ass racing in the ISRA. I think I just, after this race, I believe Brent was coming fresh off a pretty serious beer pong tournament, I believe. He'll have to chime in on our forums to see if that was accurate or not, but hopefully he did well there. Quebec native Luc Poulin, unfortunately getting passed by Chuck Chambliss for 6th position, so Luc Poulin back down to 7th.
Oh, and this might be a passing opportunity for Vernest here on Koosland. Yep, it is. As he had to slow down as for an HPD that decided to go on the outside through turn 6. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, that's why it was Anthony, actually. There it is, coming around everyone. And now, PJ Losi, our man behind the curtain here at ISRA, is able to come out for a race here at Montreal. It's good to see. Moving up to 16th position. I believe he just passed someone in the pit lane. Unless I don't think I saw him get anyone on track, but looks like basically, oh, there's his car. Okay. I was about to say, for all we know, he's just running around the track right now, but there's his car, so we see PJ in the red car.
And Brent Briles still working on Tim McLeish. He gets a nice run out of the, turn 8. And he's going to be on the outside, but he has better speed. And it looks like McLeish braked a little bit early to make that easy for him, as I think Brent Briles has the pace over him currently. So that moves him up another spot as Daniel Vernest looks to make another attempt on Luc Poulin.
I think he's going to get him this time. He's got the run here, and he's going to easily get the inside of this corner here. Faster to go on the inside, going through there. You're able to carry a little bit more speed. The outside, it's a little slick on the outside there, and it's hard to stick it around the outside. Even though the next corner is a right-hander, far better to be on the left-hand side of the track there. Now, one part of the track we didn't mention here is it looks like Daniel Vernest is just going to drive past Chuck Chambliss here. Well, maybe not this corner, but it looks like it's pretty inevitable at this point with his speed right now. But the last couple corners there, known as the last chicane, the Champions Wall on the outside, known as the Champions Wall because drivers like Mika Hakkinen, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, Jacques Villeneuve have all crashed rather heavily into that very wall. So lots of other drivers too, but it's a lot better name than the Backmarkers Wall, considering so many top-line drivers have broken a lot of race cars against that particular piece of concrete.
And Verness looking to challenge going into the hairpin, but Chambliss pretty good under the braking, managed to maintain the gap between them. As looks like there's an LMP going by, that's John Kelly.
Well, speaking of Champions Wall, looked like Daniel Coroni almost took a piece out of that one, and Anthony Muniz up ahead. My two colleagues here, looks like they're battling pretty hard, and they're going to try to crash into each other, but aren't successful, luckily. Getting around some slower traffic there. Noticing Daniel has a very aggressive style as he's going up in slower traffic. Likes to keep his options open with the steering wheel. And here comes Verness.
Yeah, looks like he's finally going to get that move on Chambliss done going into turn 4, and there it is. As long as he holds on to it. Yep, Chambliss was right there. Didn't look like he might have had to light up a little bit to avoid running into the back of Verness, but that moves Verness up into 6th position. Oh, speaking of running into the back of other cars, Ryan Huff, he is right up with Daniel Benefield, fighting for that last of the podium positions. Benefield got himself a bit of a gap. Oh, as that is so late under braking. I don't think he actually meant to do that. But Ryan Huff really sticks it up on the inside going into the hairpin. Let's see if it manages to hold on to that 3rd place position.
Yeah, and here comes Benefield back at him. One of the things of those corners here is the run up to it is so heavy on braking that if you get underneath another car closer than you expect, you do lose a little bit of downforce, and your braking isn't as clean as you expected. Oh, that's tight. Oh, see what I mean? You can't get two cars through there at once. Oh, Benefield's around. Right around near the outside of Champions Wall. He's not getting hit. Oh, Arthur almost lost it there. Daniel Coroni up ahead. We've got Mitch Weirich. Mitch, just tell me how to say your name, please. Anyways, he's on the outside there in the McLaren, so this is a lot of crazy action.
No, it's Gralty.
Oh, it's Gralty.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's second place man Gralty then. Yeah, because we just Lauren Bateman is just up ahead, so good catch there. I know how to say Daniel Gralty, luckily.
On board with John Middleton as he is fighting with Marty Jeffries. This is a fight for 3rd position in GT3. They have quite a ways to get to the 2 leaders. Oh, there's HPD off. Was that Benefield? I think it might have been.
It might have been. I know he took damage there.
Some good camera shots from the fences there. Really get a good sense of the speed of these cars. Sometimes the McLarens look a little slower when we've got those HPDs out there, but you really get a good sensation of speed from those overhead cameras.
As I was saying, as Marty Jeffries using all of the track there to avoid hitting or trying to get this power down, just barely avoids hitting the wall. Doesn't get a great exit. Middleton now looking to challenge going into the final chicane. Jeffries not giving him too much room. Let's see who is the last of the late breakers. Looks like they might have to go side by side. Someone's going to have to cut the chicane, and it's going to be Jeffries because Middleton takes the position away. So that moves him up into 3rd place. And you can see the gap opening up there because he has had to slow down. Ooh, there's 3 HPDs in close quarters combat. That's Burris and Victor Beltran fighting together with Lance Snyder just in front of them. And this all a fight for 9th position.
Yeah, this is where things start to get tight. Like I say, that 3 to 7 complex there is going to be really tight, especially when you're coming through traffic. But also, too, that bit with Middleton and Marty Jeffries going to the last corner there. Once the car gets on the inside, really the guy on the outside, there's not a lot he can do because he can't turn in. The guy's got the apex there, and the apex is going to swing over to the left, so he really has to back off. Otherwise, he's going to be the one forced to go off the side of the track. That said, he might have just given the position back.
Yep, I hear another McLaren, and there he goes. Marty Jeffries goes flying by, going into the turns 9 and 10 chicane. So Middleton, after gaining that position, will lose it back not even a lap later. A bit further back here with Karl Mombauer running in 10th position. He has John Kuzin and Luke Poulin just up in front. Looks like Kuzin was able to get it past him. Yeah, Poulin's slow. Mombauer also makes a pass there, so it looks like he may have cut the chicane. Don't see any damage on his car, and he looks to be back up to speed now. So that moves both of those drivers up a position.
I wonder if it's too much to ask for when McLaren goes in the Formula One back to the Honda engines in 2015, if they get the Marlboro sponsorship back. I know there's legal ramifications why it's not possible, but I think that'd be sweet.
Rumor has it they're going to have Gillette as their primary sponsor.
Not nearly as cool, but...
No. And a fight between two Ford GTs. Matthew Voigt holding on to a top 5 position with Daniel Verness knocking on the door to take that spot away. Verness has come up through the field from the back quite quickly, already down just about 20 minutes in the race. And he's bit of a gap. The gaps are starting to open up now as he gets further up the field, but he's made good progress so far, so we'll have to see how that goes. Good battle here between Snyder and Burris, but we're going to back away to Daniel Verness and Voigt once again as a couple HPDs make their way through. I believe those are the two teammates. Oh, as who's that? Brent Briles has a little trouble there in the second chicane, and Verness might actually be able to take advantage of that. It looks like he's on the outside of Voigt. Let's see if Voigt can. No, he's going to pull in behind, so that moves Verness up into 5th spot.
Oh, it looks like he took a lot of curb there, Snyder, so Burris has got a cleaner run out of the corner. That chicane, actually, you'll need to take a lot of curb on the inside, the right side, not as much on the left side, because that's what happens. It knocks the inside of the car up in the air. Snyder not able to get the power down, and Burris is able to take advantage.
John Middleton back up with Marty Jeffries now as he looks to take away that 3rd position. Once again, Jeffries being defensive, holding the inside. Oh, he's going to pull back to the racing line as Middleton didn't have the speed to get past. So he's going to hold on to that top 3 position for a little bit longer. Oh, look, you can see in the background, Verness is slowly making his way up to this fight. He's got quite a bit. Once he's up with those guys, there's quite a big gap between 3rd place and 2nd place by about 13 seconds right now. So 1st and 2nd in GT3 quite a ways away for any of those positions to be challenged. Brent Briles, meanwhile, challenging with his teammate Jerry Morsdorf. They're fighting for 12th position. And let's see if they have anyone else relatively close by. No, they're kind of all by themselves at the moment. So these two guys in a team fight, so I'm sure they'll probably be a little careful as I say that. Brent Briles getting awfully close to the back of his teammate.
Yeah, if there's a collision there, hopefully they don't get out and have an awkward kick fight like Nelson Piquet and Alicio Salazar. Still one of the funniest things I've ever seen, ever, not even including racing.
Oh, and Chambliss is off, and that is the 2nd chicane. And let's see, he's going to is he going to lose 7th? Yeah, looks like he's going to lose 7th position to John Kuzland. Let's see, did he lose anything else besides that? No, I think just that 1 position to Kuzin was all he lost for going off at that 2nd chicane.
Yeah, I'm just noticing the battle for the lead in the HPDs is about half a second, but, you know, whatever.
Well, there's 3 cars here fighting for 3rd, so... And Verness is going to be on the inside of Middleton. Middleton kind of got pinched in there. Seemed to have a better run on Jeffries, but couldn't do anything with it, and... Verness got on the inside. Oh, Verness is going to challenge now. Marty Jeffries going into turn 4. He's going to be on the inside, and he can get the braking done later. That's 2 passes in about 3 corners, and that moves him up quickly into 3rd position. Now he's got a long 15 seconds up to Gralty for 2nd place. Meanwhile, John Middleton looking very racy against Marty Jeffries. Oh, Jeffries loses it.
That's a righty there,
keep it
Marty.
off of the barrier. Oh, yeah, actually, this is a couple spots in there. Also, who is that to Matthew Voigt? Ellard McLaren is a back marker, so he doesn't count. But he's going to lose 2 positions there. But the important part is he kept it off the wall. Oh, and look, there's the battle for the overall lead. Brian Carey and Andy Fuller pretty much nose to tail to make their way down towards the hairpin.
Oh, up into the back of someone.
I believe that was Doljan Boldrin.
And Anthony is blinking in and out of this universe.
I just had to check something in a different dimension real quick, but I'm back.
I don't want anything sneaking up on you like that, so it was good to take a quick peek every now and then.
And this is a fight for 3rd position. Boldrin holding that, and then Ryan Huff, and then myself. There is a back marker LMP here. Looks like he's going to pull out of the way, I believe. Ryan Huff able to clear him, and also close the gap to Boldrin as he gets held up behind Luke Poulin, going through the final chicane.
Yeah, the HPDs here look like they're really riding pretty high off the ground. I know that's not the case, but maybe it's just the way the track map is here, but those splitters seem to be pretty, well, when I say pretty high, I mean they're stuck pretty low, but seems to be a bit more gap here than there are at other tracks.
I think it might be similar to the way Zolder is in places where the cars appear to be hovering. Might have a similar situation here. Ooh, as Huff is going to be challenging on the outside, going through the 2nd chicane. Ooh, contact between both of those as Boldrin loses it. And let's see if that looks like the suspension is okay. A bit of aero damage to the left front of Huff's car, but he's able to continue on.
Well, we'll see if Nunes can take advantage of that. He'll come in 5th position. Really feeding in the gas here coming out. Now, one thing about that incident, I'd just like to point out, it didn't look like they actually touched. And one of the effects is most of the time the connections are pretty good, but Doljan is coming out of Brazil, so his connection to the server isn't going to be quite as crisp as the rest of us in North America. However, normally it's fine. I just think that at times it's more likely that he'll have those sort of contacts, unfortunately. It's really just there's not a lot you can do about it. It's just the nature of sim racing these days. I'm sure eventually it'll just be 0 lag and basically we'll all be in the same room together, but it's not how it works now. Or actually on track. That'd be better. Everybody in a room
yes,
would
that's
be weird.
Ideal.
Yes. And just imagine if they laid out the 20 HPDs and 25 GT cars to the track, and they just got us to all show up and jump in and go to town.
Be pretty fun.
Well, there is 1 or 2 of those guys out there that I'd be afraid would actually kill me, so. Oh, Muni's getting a great run on Boldrin here. Let's see if he's able to make a move going down into turns 8. I think he might have it. Yeah, pretty easily actually on the inside, but wait, is he able to hold on? Nope. And that's how Anthony knew you get a corner cutting penalty for going across there. It's encouraging to know you have the speed, but at the same time, too, it's kind of frustrating to be able to tell you out of position, lose a corner there, but still lots of race left. We're not quite at halfway yet. And speaking of not quite at halfway, really, because of the short nature of this race, pit stop windows have opened up pretty much from the 40-minute mark on, so most people will wait till at least halfway, so starting at the 30-minute mark, you might see some pit stops, but that window will be pretty wide at this track.
And Luke Poulin has slowly fallen down the GT3 running order. He's holding on to 9th place at the moment. Karl Mumbauer, however, is looking to put a challenge on that, although does a bit slow through that final chicane. Although it looks like is Poulin a bit slow. Well, maybe not. That's just a camera angle. Never mind. That's just a camera angle. Mumbauer did a nice job catching up there, going through turn 3, closed the gap a bit. Looked like Poulin had a bit of trouble.
Yeah, a lot of these corners, there's just a lot of left and right corners in this section of the track. Getting progressively faster after that first little chicane down into these two corners here, which are, I wouldn't call it a chicane because they're really two distinct corners, but one after another, so it gives the appearance of a large chicane, if you will. Oh, looks like Karl Mumbar is going to have a good run here. Well, nope, he kind of cut off the speed going to the inside.
Yeah, he had the chance, but kind of pinched off his exit, so he wasn't able to get the run, unfortunately.
And John Kelly was just coming through there as well, so maybe that played a part in it. But what Brian would have done in that situation is made sure he exit that corner with the run of speed. Well, it looks like he's going to take the place now. But exit that corner with the run of speed right on his tail, use that momentum, and then pull out. If you pull it a little bit too early like Karl did, then you lose the speed that you gain from having a better line by compromising your line too early.
And they're both looking to try and make the late break into the final chicane, but Mumbauer better on the brakes and takes the position away, moves himself up into 9th.
And then here's round 2 for Anthony Muniz, trying to get around Doljan Bulgren.
Oh, but we're cut away from that to a look at John Middleton, who had spun himself exiting turn 7, loses a position to who is that? Matthew Voigt here, just going by. Yep, and thank you, Marty Jeffries was the driver who passed first, so he loses a couple positions there, falls down to 6th place. And meanwhile, Chekon Verness, who was making that quick charge up through the field, he's still about 15 seconds back from Grauti, running in 2nd place. So hasn't made any progress on the top 2 positions, but he's still close. Or he's not close, but he's kept it close. Oh, go ahead. I kind of lost my train of thought.
Well, as Anthony himself is entering the pit lane for the first of the front runner pit stops there, right at the half-hour mark. We've just ticked over right now, so Anthony using a split strategy here, but hopefully some fresh tires will allow him to make up that position on Doljan, who's continued on.
You know, I just had a quick interview with Doljan Bulgren. He is hoping that Anthony is not able to.
That makes sense. I'll be honest, that sounds about right.
And I just spoken to the engineers on the pit wall from the number 888 car, and they've said that they decided to pit Muniz early because they were getting held up behind Bulgren, so they were going to try and pit early and see if they could make a jump on him.
And I've just spoken to Peter Murphy, who's sitting up in the grandstands around turn 2, and he's just happy to be here.
Hey, here's a 2nd place driver, Daniel Grauti. Haven't really seen too much of him so far. And let's see, he must be making a dive for the pit lane. Yes, he is. Also looks like Daniel Quaroni making a pit stop.
Ryan Huff in the pits as well.
Yep, there he is, actually.
Yeah, that's one thing about the iRacing version is the pit lane is modified for iRacing's purposes. It's a configuration that is not used in real life, so it is a little visually messed up to see pit stalls all the way like halfway out the exit.
It's used when I don't know if it's nationwide. Oh, contact between who's that? Luke Poulin and must be Daniel Verness there, as they were I think almost 3 wide briefly coming out of the hairpin. Looks like just some light contact. Yeah, I think it's for Nationwide or Grand Am. They put up that artificial wall. It looks horrible, but that's what's there.
To be fair, that is the week that they did scan this track, so it makes sense. Still weird for me.
Yep. They did a similar thing at COTA this year when ALMS visited, and then they tore it down for the WEC, and luckily iRacing is scanning it afterwards, so hopefully we won't have that artificial pit wall there.
Well, here comes Mina's trying to get around Lance Snyder here. This is 4th position. Lance has not pitted yet, so we'll see going around into turn 8. Looks like he has possibly made the pass. Yep, no, he has made the pass. And destroyed the back of his car and Anthony's car. Or front of his car on the back of Anthony's car. So that was a misbraking there, and we'll see if Anthony's car has damage. I suspect it will, because Lance's car was just 1 pound of force away from bursting into flames.
I think you will catch a glimpse of it. It was a nice pass there by Marty Jeffries. Yeah, I think you'll be able to catch it here.
Oh, Beltran just flying by someone.
Yeah, for Ness, I believe, in the GT.
Oh,
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, no, that is damaged. The car is.
Didn't realize it was quite that bad when I was actually in the car. That's why I'm limping back to see if I can get some repairs done. Turns out you can't, and now I see why.
Well, unfortunately, this is Anthony's first race of the year. He missed Daytona because I was going to say visa issues, but he's lives in the United States, so they do allow a lot of people from Michigan into Florida. I've found out over the years. So
yep, that is allowed mostly.
Oh, Poulin is off.
Poulin contact with the inside wall multiple times. Well, McLaren is pretty tough. Let's see if he has any damage.
It's not going to be a perfect handling car, but it will be able to drive, just not very well. And Daniel Corney against John Kelly here. Last time these two guys got together, they literally got together.
They did.
That was on lap 1 of a 90-minute race. And John Kelly's disappeared. Oh, he's in the pits.
He's flown into the pits, yeah.
Just the way the camera cut there, it was a little sleight of hand, if you will, and Daniel Corney used his witchcraft to make another car disappear, which I believe is against the sporting code. And Snyder is into the pits. And there's Victor Beltran.
He just passed Lance Snyder.
Victor's racing. Oh, look at that. Just some drifting there. That was some good tire smoke coming up from Verness, but it didn't even come offline. That was good stuff. It looked like a little wide through turn 1 there, but lit up the tires, got it straightened out, and hit his apex for turn 2, so very impressive.
And Verness looking to make his way past John Kuzland. Don't think Kuzland has made his pit stop yet. Verness has, so he quickly, does manage to hold on to it. So I think he will quickly dispatch Kuzland. We shall see. He barely held onto his car through 7 and 8.
I try not to say things too complimentary about Daniel Verness, because when I do, bad things happen. So just there he is, and he is past Kuzland. And there goes Brent Briles, also passing Kuzland.
And here's Brian Carey, and he has Doljan Boldrin in front of him. Technically, for Brian, he is a back marker, because Boldrin has not pitted yet, even though... Well, I guess he is leading. He's leading the race right now, so it is for position, but technically, in Brian's race, he is a back marker. His race is with Andy Fuller, who is about 5.5 seconds back. I expect we'll see Boldrin pitting here relatively quickly. And right now it looks, yep, there he goes. So it means Brian Carey re-inherits the lead to take, well, first place. I don't know why I was going to say to take the lead again, because that's what you are. But he has Andy Fuller about 5.5 seconds back. Oh, and Marty Jeffries loses it going into turn 8.
Did you guys see that snap?
A bit of a technical glitch, I think, there with the connection.
Looked kind of cool. Defied physics, but looked kind of cool. And Lauren Bateman in the Golf 4 GT, which, again, him and... I mean, I could just watch the whole field. If his car, all 4 GTs that painted like that, and then Carl Mumbauer's McLaren painted with the Marlboro, that'd be fine by me. And Jerry Morsdorf chasing down Victor Beltran.
Because he is running second place, that means he has yet to pit. And yep, that's why we're watching him right now, because he is into the pit lane.
Nice view of John Kelly's helmet there. I've been on board with him yet, and very cool looking.
I think this is the first season that we actually have his helmet, or the first season that we can actually see it, because last year we had it, but
he's in the Corvette.
He was in the Corvette, and you can't, the way that the default camera is inside the cockpit, you can't see the helmet. Here's a fight between John Middleton and... Well, is it a fight? Are they in the same lap? Yes, they are. Middleton and Voigt. About 1 second separating those two guys. Oh, and here, this is an actual fight up a little bit further. Daniel Gralti and Daniel Verness. Gralti, if you remember, before pit stops had about 15 seconds separating himself from Verness. Verness pitted early, and now he is... Well, he's made up a bunch of time. I wonder if Gralti has made a mistake. He's about 10 seconds back from Bateman, so it's possible he made a mistake, and that could be the cause for the change in gaps there. But Verness putting quite a bit of pressure on Gralti right now.
Verness looking a little sloppy through the chicane there, but he's getting enough speed coming off of it. I don't think he'll have enough going into turn 1, but well, there goes Andy Fuller in the LMP. And that being said, nice. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes. Well, that was bold, folks. That was an outbreaking move. He just committed himself to the inside, made it, and nearly ran into Andy Fuller, but that nearly or close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and we are playing neither of those, so well done for Verness there. This would be a lot more like hand grenades, I guess, than the consequences of that, but you get the idea.
Well, now that he's moved himself up into P2, he has 8.5 seconds up to class leader Lauren Bateman. We'll have to see if that gap rapidly comes down like it did between himself and Gralti. Back with Matthew Voigt and John Middleton now. We see these guys fight for the last of the top 5 spots.
I think something exciting here is going to happen since they're so far apart. Morsdorf closing in on Beltran. Sometimes the director cheats like that.
Director could do what he wants, pretty much.
But Morsdorf getting quite a slow exit off of the hairpin, and no, I guess we just decided to watch those guys for a little bit.
Well, that really was actually the closest battle on track at the time. And now we switch to a different, closer battle.
Yes, between Hermas, as we see on screen, and just at the top of your picture, Daniel Quaroni. These guys fighting for 5th. Looks like Quaroni actually has a bit of damage on the right front of his car. Yeah,
I'm a champion.
You've joined the, I don't know if it's elite ranks, but the ranks nonetheless.
He broke something there is what happened.
Well, it actually wasn't that bad, but I thought they could fix it, and then they refused to do anything, so I just shouldn't have pitted. I lost a lot of time there.
Screw you guys, we were done for the day.
You got your 1 pit stop, that's all we're paid for. And back with Jerry Morsdorf and Victor Beltran. They fight for 8th position. They have a mighty gap up to the next driver, John Kelly, of 26 seconds. So it's really between these 3 drivers here, Beltran, Morsdorf, and about 2 seconds behind, teammate Brent Briles. There he is.
A little strung out, but still close enough to at least be in doubt positions here. Small mistake in traffic, and then any one of those battles can close right up.
Yep, and in GT3, Verness has closed the gap a couple seconds to Lauren Bateman. That's down to just under 6 seconds now, and also pulling away from Gralty a bit, roughly 3.5 seconds, separating P2 from P3. So Verness does seem to have the pace right now. 16 minutes left on the clock, so plenty of time to bring that gap down and fight for the lead of GT3. And it looks like Brent Briles is slowly closing in on his teammate. He's gained about a half a second in the half a lap that I was talking about GT3.
Yeah, I guess we'll be following this for about at least another lap here, so looking around. Okay, well actually since the pit stops seem to be done for all classes for the most part, just run through the leaderboard here. It's Brian Carey, that's me, leading. Andy Fuller is in 2nd place in the HPD, Ryan Huff in 3rd, Dolgen Boulder in 4th, and Arthur Hermont rounding at the top 5 there. Second lead on Daniel Verness with Dan Gralty a further 4 seconds behind him. Sandeep Banerjee, newcomer to the series, he's up into 4th place, so good run for him. And John Middleton in 5th place. So actually that battle between John Middleton and Sandeep for 4th position is about a second apart right now. So there's something there. This one is, a touch closer, actually quite a bit closer now as traffic comes into play.
Yep, looks like Beltran was able to get the lucky side of the draw here between traffic as he's letting Ryan Huff go through since he is putting a lap on these drivers. But yeah, it looks like Beltran was able to get the better of the traffic there. As you can see, okay, they're all right. As Morsdorf and Brent Briles' gap comes down to under a second now. Oh, and yeah, this is the gap between Lauren Bateman and Daniel Verness in GT3. You can see that has come down to under 2 seconds. Now there's a bit of traffic up there playing its part. Ooh, and looks like a back marker in the GT3s is playing an even bigger part than the HPDs. And now Bateman and Verness are only about a half second apart.
I am starting to get a good case of the yawns here, not because the quality of the racing is Beltran is off the track, but I am giving up coffee for the last few weeks, few days. That's what happens when you give up coffee. And I go through bouts. They last about 10 minutes of just incredible, unsustainable yawning.
Well, we've got a lot of cars on a very small section of circuit here.
Just as I say that, things are heating up pretty good here.
Oh, and there's a spin there, but in turn 6. And it collects. Who is that? Beltran and another
someone must have come in there.
car. So that's 2 HPDs.
That looks like Frank Hogan.
For the
didn't
lead.
it?
Battle for the lead.
that
GTs.
was.
Verness coming down the inside of Bateman. Going into turn 8. I think he's going to get it done, folks. And there it is. Verness coming from the back of the field to the front. 12 minutes left, and Daniel Verness has taken the lead in the GT class.
And there's evidence of that collision. Beltran, serious broken suspension.
The wheel should
I don't
not
know
be pointed that way.
yeah. Loses a spot there to Tim
He's
McLeish.
turning right. The tractor turns right here.
Well, his wheel is
quite that
moving,
much.
and the car's direction does not seem to be changing.
Nah, it's just an optical illusion because the track, it's changing how it turns.
Dan has reached one of the broadcasts where he just starts making stuff up.
It's all good, man. It's all right.
Just pound it out with a sledgehammer and fix that up. There's no problem. A little wax and you're good as new.
Oh, with all that traffic, Boldrin has managed to close up between himself and Ryan Huff as they fight for the last of the podium spots now.
I'm going to throw a suggestion out to Dolgen and Arthur that you guys need to differentiate your cars just a little bit more than you are right now.
Yep, I think they are pretty much the same, and I think your helmets are actually pretty much the same as well, so even if one guy just wants to put a little bit of color on the mirrors or something,
The numbers are the same too.
Yeah, 8 and 80.
Nice.
And I believe the spinning GT that collected a couple LMP2 cars in turn 6 was Luke Poulin. He's fallen down to 11th, 1 lap down. Still running, so maybe he didn't collect too much damage there, but I believe the 2 LMP2 cars of Victor Beltran and Frank Hogan have both retired, from what I can tell.
Looks like once we're out of traffic, Ryan has enough pace to keep ahead of Dolgen. That's another thing about this track too, is because there's a lot of chicanes, there's not a lot of fast sweeping sections where you can close up on someone and really get that gap down, because even if you're on their tail in one of the chicanes or the hairpins, once you go down the straightaway, that gap opens up visually. So it's not necessarily the easiest thing to just make a run on someone. So, even though they're running pretty close right now, it looks like Ryan, barring any mistakes, has it in hand. And a mistake, unfortunately for Chuck Chambliss, will cost him a position to Sandeep. Is that a position?
Well, it's
Yep,
good.
it is.
Attempting to be a position.
Yes.
Banerjee's going to be looking the inside, going into the hairpin. Chuck Chambliss, not really defensive. Let's see if he can get a better exit. No. Banerjee was much faster through there, so that moves him up into 8th position.
Yeah, Sandeep obviously making a late pit stop there, so he was up at 4th position before, so he's back down to, well, 8th now. He's about 15 seconds behind John Kuzlin, so little much to expect him to close that back up, but at least this battle is very much on.
And you can see Ryan Huff slowly extending his advantage over Boldrin just a bit. And let's see, yep, maybe a little bit more. So, Chambliss actually kind of benefited Boldrin there as he half spun the car going through turn number 2.
Did not benefit his shorts.
No, but allowed Boldrin to get through, but then gets stuck up behind Banerjee. So he's going to lose more time on Ryan Huff, and maybe more time if he doesn't stick right up. He must have a leading car right next to him.
Yeah, it looks like Boldrin being very, very cautious with Banerjee, because it looked like he was flashing in and out, so Boldrin did not want to cause an accident by trying to pass there, but as a result of that has lost nearly 4 seconds on Ryan Huff. And with 7.5 minutes left, that's going to be a tough one to close back down.
Yep, I believe you're right, Brian, because there is no leading car in LMP2 that I can see in between. Nope, there is no top car there in between those two guys. So yeah, he was just being extra cautious, making sure that there was no random lag spikes or blinks with Banerjee before he made the pass. But like you said, cost him quite a bit, and with 7 minutes left on the clock, it's going to be hard to make that up.
Now, I know the Pro sticker in the back of Chuck's car makes me think of Wonder Bread. I don't know if that's the intention or not with those circles there, or if that's just the way it comes out. But
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, that's actually separate from the Pro marker. I'm not actually sure what that is. The Pro tags on there are from the GT cars that run in the WEC, which actually his delivery is based off of a Ferrari 458 that ran at Le Mans in 2012, I believe. And the Pro stickers are what the GTE Pro cars run. And actually with the decal capabilities that we now have with iRacing, he could actually make a entire new number plate, WEC authentic number plate to go along with those Pro stickers. So I guess we maybe we'll see if Chuck Chambliss has time to make those updates and send them into Dan so we can get the full effect on his car. And I actually see some damage on Gralty's car. I wonder if that's just a little bit of a glitch. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I was just saying that was Anthony's subtle way of telling Chuck to stop being lazy and paint a real car.
No, well, the actual livery is very, very nice, but the because we have the ability to have our custom number plates now, I like seeing custom number plates. That's just a pet peeve that I have.
Yeah, well, I think actually that's one thing that we should probably do for the series. I mean, if we can get the ISRA sticker on there and do a proper custom number plate for ISRA, that'd be fantastic. And make everyone do it.
Well, we don't have to make them. We can just do it and put their numbers in Dan's paint file, and they will be there.
Yeah, well, like I say, Anthony was mentioning Daniel without a rear wing and significant front end damage. I think that's legitimate damage, whether it's removed his rear wing or not. As far as the simulation is concerned, it's kind of hard to tell. The physical damage on iRacing is one of the limitations. We always talk about them. We haven't for a while, but the physical damage you see in the car doesn't always necessarily translate to how the car will handle. Normally the damage is in the right spot, and Chuck is just, he loves the inside of turn 9 there. Just, that's like the third or fourth time I've seen him do that. It's the easier way to let a car go by. He takes his corner cutting penalty, and by the time the car is by, he can continue on with his race. Like I was saying, the damage of the cars doesn't necessarily correlate that well. Not like I think it was back at Zolder a couple last time we ran the HPD where Dimas Milana, his car basically just exploded for no reason.
Oh, and that is Verness off at turn 10. Lauren Bateman retakes the lead in GT3 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock.
Verness is sticking with him for about a second back, so he was able to catch him up before, so this race is by no means over. Well, down to 2 seconds now, but or up to 2 seconds. But with only a couple laps left, I don't know if he has it. Looks like his run from last to first may be over.
And Gralty is doing his best to hold on to whatever positions he can. He's already lost one to Middleton. You can see him just up in front now, under pressure from Matthew Voigt. Matthew Voigt up along the outside, going into the hairpin, and takes that 4th place position away from Gralty. He falls back. Ooh, it takes more contact there on the left side as he brushes into the barrier there.
Just trying to even it out.
So let's see, he has about 10 seconds back to Marty Jeffries, and they're going to get probably 3 more laps out of the time we have, so it's going to do his best. I don't think he, despite all of the damage that we see on his car, like Brian said, don't know actually how much true damage has been done to his McLaren, but it seems to be quite significant. I think Jeffries will be right with him as time is running out.
Lauren Maintenance is in second again.
And he's made a big mistake because Verness is 6 seconds ahead. Is that him spinning? It is spinning
What's
out of that
happening
turn
here?
7.
We're going back and forth like crazy. No one wants to win this race.
Verness spun. Yeah, I don't know. So Verness spun, and Bateman retook the lead. Then Bateman had a mistake, and Verness retook the lead, and then another mistake from Verness. Who now Verness has damage. Verness has some heavy suspension damage on his car. Rear wing is bent. Pretty sure I saw the car crabbing. Maybe not quite as badly as I thought, but there is significant damage on his car. Middleton takes second position away from Verness.
Wonder if they got together.
That could be. I'd love to see a shot of Bateman's car to see if there's any damage on his Ford GT.
And if we had done our research and had our pit reporters figuring it out, we could have got that information to you, but unfortunately, they all broke for lunch right now, so...
Well, we thought this race was over. There was 3 minutes left and nothing was happening. Now everything is happening in the final 3 minutes. Verness, yeah, there's that suspension damage I was thinking of. Under braking really showing itself. And Daniel Gralty, who has damaged himself, makes a pass on Verness. You can see Verness crabbing quite severely as he goes down that front straight.
Yeah, that looks pretty terrible.
He is going to be struggling quite a lot to hold on to that car. And yep, the white flag is out, so they only have to complete one more lap. Voigt right up here with John Middleton fighting for second place. These guys have kind of played the long game. They fell back in the GT3 class throughout the middle portion of the race, but with incidents happening at the last minute, they've got themselves onto the podium.
And if they're actually in Montreal, they'd be enjoying a nice Montreal smoked meat sandwich, which are delicious. Can't remember the place you go to get those, but it's the Canadian equivalent to a Philly cheesesteak. They're fantastic bits of food. But anyways, that's another position lost, unfortunately. It's Marty Jeffries going past, and
Brian Carey also leading the race overall makes a flyby as into turn 7, or turn 9 rather. It looks like John Middleton and Matthew Voigt is going to just run out of time.
No, they get one more lap because
do they get one more lap? Okay.
Yeah, because the leader, as we saw, was behind them, so they'll finish out their run and get one more chance at it.
Sometimes iRacing is funny about that.
Yeah, that being said, I'm pretty sure they're still racing.
Chuck Chandler is going to have a quick little look at the end of the race with Banerjee, I believe. Oh, someone was into or out of the pits. John Kelly out of the pits. Yep, there's Brian Carey crossing the start-finish line to take position first position overall. Andy Fuller not too far behind to take second, as we've got a close battle here. This is the final lap for these two drivers. Matthew Voigt trying to chase down. And that is the end of Verness's race, I believe.
Yep. Sixth position locked in.
Yep, spins in anger at the loss of positions there. And Chuck Chandler's just short of passing Banerjee there for the end, which was 8th position. I think they're done racing.
Yeah, Matthew Voigt's only 0.4 seconds behind right now, so. And Daniel Peroni coming home in 6th position, so. Good run with a damaged car there.
Speaking of damaged car, like Tim McLeish missing the nose cone on his car. Damaged car for, what was that, Karl Mumbauer? It's coming down to the end here for both of these guys. Matthew Voigt trying to, he just has to hope for a mistake from John Middleton here into the final chicane. Maybe he goes into the wall of champions, but no, he doesn't. And that should be how they finish. We will see. Yep, that's going to be how they finish.
Well, drop leak is in effect, so you can see Brian Carey and Dolgen Boldrin, who each having won one race, are tied for the lead. Andy Fuller is in third or second, depending how that all falls out. Ryan Huff shown in fourth, Daniel Santos in fifth, Arthur Hermont in sixth, Daniel Quaroni and Victor Beltran tied for seventh. We've got Daniel Overness and Warren Bateman each tied for first place, and then John Middleton and Tim Stoll tied for second in the GT3 standings. Matthew Voigt just 1 point behind those two in second, and Todd Carver just 1 point behind Matthew Voigt, then Daniel Gralty and Marty Jeffries, Mike Kelly, and finally Mike Young in the 10th spot. Well, that's all right. You know, you win some, you lose some.
I know.
In this case, Brian
Carey
won some.
Yep, and Brian Carey's going to be leaving Montreal, leading the LMP2 class. That's all I know.
Yep. And we got to see. I wish I saw me a little bit in the pit lane there as we were coming into the pits, but. Yep. Anyways, the schedule coming up. So next race, which we just ran yesterday, Mid-Ohio on September 30th. The next one coming up, for those of you watching, will be Watkins Glen on the 7th. Silverstone will be a 90-minute race. All the remaining ones that are not blue are going to be 60 minutes. And Long Beach, that'll be an interesting one with the development track there. A lot of point cloud sky, so it'll be kind of weird, but you can see the rest of the schedule there coming up. Phillip Island, the last Enduro, and then ending the season, I believe, is at Road Atlanta, but I don't remember. So yeah, we got a 12-race schedule. Yep. So we got a 12-race season this time. It's new for the ISRA, and looking forward to the remaining races with Mid-Ohio broadcast coming up next.
All right, well, thank you to Brian Carey and Anthony Muniz for their commentary, to our racers and our admins for making the racing possible, to you for watching, and of course to Z1 Simwheel for their sponsorship of the series. We'll see you again next time at Mid-Ohio. Have a great night.